Guys are mysterious creatures. Just when you think you have them figured out, no, wait, I haven't ever thought I had them figured out. Although women notoriously get pegged as the mysterious gender, I would argue that guys are way more difficult to comprehend. Women typically just say what is on their mind. The only thing quizzical about us is that men don't always like what they hear. That is why it is so confusing to know how to tell if a guy doesn't like you. A guy is different. Sometimes I believe that he is completely unaware himself and how he feels 90% of the time. Women can be emotional, which is difficult to deal with. But the lack of emotion that streams from a guy is even more confusing. If you are wondering how to tell if a guy doesn't like you, it is a question that might be making you crazy. Many signs either say, I like you, or I don't like you at all. Although it depends on the guy and the way that he communicates, there are some pretty telltale signs if he isn't into you. If you are noticing these things that scream, back off, I don't like you, don't ignore them or think you misread them. 1. He isn't turned on by you. There aren't many guys alive who can't stop himself from showing his attraction when the time is right. Even if you aren't the girl of his dreams, he can still show signs of arousal. If, however, he isn't showing any sign that you are doing anything to make his man parts tingle, then that is all the sign you need to hear, I don't like you. A guy can't help his physiological response to stimuli. So, if it ain't getting hard, don't think long or hard about it, he isn't into you. 2. He doesn't answer your text messages. Don't be fooled by what your best friend Pollyanna told you. If he isn't answering your text messages, he isn't playing hard to get. Guys aren't that big into their phones. But if you text him and he likes you, then he might not answer right away, giving you time to sit and stew a while. If, however, he doesn't answer you at all, that says that he is hoping you will give up and stop texting him altogether. No answer is a clear sign for knowing how to tell if a guy doesn't like you. 3. He doesn't pay for your date. If you are on a first real date and he doesn't pay the tab when it comes, then there's a good probability that he doesn't like you. Even the dirt poor guys want to be the big man by paying the check the first time around. Guys consider paying for the girl they like a way to show off. If he is asking for halvesies halfway through the meal, you can safely assume that he isn't completely into you, or probably likes hanging out with you as a friend. 4. He doesn't touch you. If a guy likes you, he will find any opportunity to reach out and touch you. Whether it is putting his arm around you when you are scared or just brushing up against your body, when a guy likes a girl, he can't wait to make contact. If he hasn't made any attempt to put his skin up against yours and has had ample opportunity, then you can safely assume that he probably doesn't like you in a sexual way. 5. He doesn't go the extra mile to meet you. If a guy always wants to meet you somewhere, then he isn't trying to figure out where you live or find alone time with you. Sure, some guys have the limitation of no wheels. But if it is a continual thing and he never wants to come by your place or even pick you up, then there is a good probability that he doesn't really feel romantically for you. 6. He's always too busy to hang out. If a guy doesn't want to hurt your feelings, he is not going to want to see you cry or make you unhappy. So, what he will probably do is put you off so many times, that to him, it is quite obvious that he doesn't like you. Not being the kings of communication or confrontation, many guys will simply continue to say no to a woman until she literally gives up. If he is always busy, don't buy into it. He isn't that busy, he just isn't interested. 7. He brings hot guys along. When a guy likes you, the last thing he wants to do is bring out his first string hot friends. Not wanting you to be tempted to switch players, he will bring out the wingmen who aren't nearly as hot as he is. If he always showing up with the hotter than average guy, that is sending you a signal that he isn't worried about losing you, or some guy taking the place he doesn't want besides you. 8. He avoids introducing you to people in his life. Sure, some guys don't want to get all committal right up front and will wait a while to introduce the girl in their lives around, especially to mom and dad. But if it has been a couple of weeks and he has been running interference so that you don't meet up with anyone he knows, then there is a good likelihood that he doesn't want anyone to get to know you. Why? He doesn't believe that you are going to be a part of his future. I know. But it's true. If he is keeping you his dirty little secret, it is either because he has a girlfriend, or he isn't into you. 9. He is continually trying to downplay himself and talk other people up. A guy who likes a girl wants to make themselves the most irresistible and awesome guy in the room. If he isn't trying to impress you, then he is trying to get rid of you. Once more, if he is trying to talk one of his friends up to you, then either his friend has a crush on you, or he just is trying to distract you and push you off on someone else. Either way, that is a clear sign for knowing he doesn't like you. 10. He turns you down. If you invite him up to your place, text him for a booty call, or ask him to meet you late at night and you get turned down, this is one of the big red flags when you're wondering how to tell if a guy doesn't like you. If a guy likes a girl, he will go to great lengths to meet up once the lights come on to turn them back off and get busy. If he isn't answering or is flat out rejecting you by saying things like he has to work early in the morning, he is either with someone else or wishing that he was. What he isn't wanting is to be with you. 11. He never bothers looking good for you. Okay, so men may not be that self-monitoring or care all that much about their looks. But, if a guy likes a girl, he typically will put some thought and plan into trying to look good. If he just comes from the gym, he might be trying to show you the rugged side. But, if he always shows up sloppy and like he couldn't care less what you think, then he is sending you a sign that he couldn't care less what you think because he doesn't like you and isn't worried about impressing you to keep you. 12. He has a wandering eye or doesn't give you any preferential treatment. Not all guys are good at being able to block out the sight of a beautiful, hot woman. But, if his head turns at every girl walking by with a pulse or without any shame or remorse, then he is sending you a signal that he doesn't have eyes for you. Don't think that he simply can't control it. If you were the one for him, then no one else in the room would exist. I know that it hurts to admit to yourself that the guy of your dreams isn't interested in you. If you are continually looking for signs that he likes you, stop looking. If a guy likes you, then the signs are right there in your face. If, on the other hand, he isn't into you, the signs are all over as well. You just have to choose to acknowledge them and not brush them off in an attempt to see something that isn't there or real. In the end, the longer you stick around when he doesn't like you, the more time you are losing. And the more likelihood you have that if you play hard to get or disappear, he will figure out that he really liked you all along and didn't know it. If you really want to know how to tell if a guy doesn't like you, then don't make the mistake of thinking he is playing hard to get. Even if that is the case, he likes a challenge. So, walk away and see what he is really thinking. If you like the video, like it and share it to your friends. If you like more advices and tips, subscribe to the channel.